Hey midlife learners, my name's Terry and I'm from Midlife Edge. In today's video I'm going to talk you through the basics of Excel. Now we've all may have seen Excel or used it possibly at work, or you've had some file you've seen, and today actually I'm going to show you how you can use it yourself. All right, it's not hard, so I'm going to take you through nice and slowly. And just how today I'm going to create a nice simple spreadsheet so you can look at your maybe your basics of finances at home. All right, so let's do this and get started. Okay, so in this video, like I said, we're going to set up a finance sheet for home. So here's one I've done earlier. So this is what I'm going to take you through today of how to create. So for those who don't use Excel or haven't used it in the past, it may look a little bit daunting. But this way I'm going to show you how to change your text and have headers, how to color code things as well, how to create these boxes, how to add up sums as well. There we go, so it automatically adds up, and how to create all these to give you your remaining money at the end of every month as well, and also gives you an idea of what's end of every year. Okay, so let's start off with a blank worksheet. All right, so what I want to do is I want to figure out first of all, what do I want along the top? So as I said before, I want to look at my year. All right, so I'm going to start off with putting in January and February. Now I could carry on doing all the way along the top, but I'm not going to do that. So what I can do is simply, if I want to copy and carry this going, all I need to do is basically highlight the first two boxes. And see this little box down here, if I look, when I've got a cross on it, I can press the left mouse button and drag it across as much as I want to. All right, so let's just make sure I've got the right amount. We should be up to, there we go, which gives me January all the way to December. All right, so that's the first part done. Again, just to go through that again, so if I put in 1, I can now highlight them boxes, click on that little square and drag it with my left mouse button, holding my left mouse button down, and it will then follow it on. There you go, 1 to 12. All right, so nice and straightforward. Of course, don't need that, so I'm going to come out of that one. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to have 2 columns. Okay, so one column I want to have the date. So this is when I want my direct debits to come out, or my payments to come out, and for now. All right. Now, straight away, all these boxes are exactly the same size, which is fine, and they can be. But just say I wanted the heading box to be wider because of my title of my my companies I use, whatever. I can now see you've got the arrows here in between C and D. They'll pop up. I can now hold my left mouse button and drag this as wide as I want. But let's just go, I want it double the size, so I'm going to drag it to there. All right, date I might not want so big, so I can again hold it and drag it, and it'd be like that. So the other thing to look at is to just say I wanted all of these to be a little bit smaller. All right, I can do the same. So this time I can actually highlight the E by pressing the left mouse button. All right, so it's highlighted. Then I can hold the shift button on my keyboard, and then I can click on P, holding down shift still. All right, and it will highlight the whole lot. Okay, and now what I can now do, I can now move these, and it will make all of them the same size. All right, again, if I want it a bit smaller, as long as it's highlighted, and it'll make them the same size. Okay, so we can say, well, let's go to this, that size is adequate. All right, now what I also want as well, I want these January, February, March, April. Actually, I want them all in the middle. So easy way of doing this, again, I want all these columns. So I want everything to stay in the middle. Again, I highlight from E all the way to P. Again, I can either press a shift and go to the end, or I can now just keep my left mouse button down and go along the boxes so they're all highlighted. And then see up here, you've got where you want it all. So I want it in the center, so I'm going to click on this one. That means everything in that column, an infinity basically, all the way down, will always be in the middle. All right, so that's the first part done. So we've got our headers, we've got our dates on there. Now we want to start separating the boxes. We want to figure out, right, what do we want next? So if we go back to the sheet one, what did I have? So I had a nice little block of black there, just to separate my columns, my headers from my actual amounts coming in. Again, all I need to do is click on the first box, hold my left mouse button down, drag all the way across. And now on the top here, I've got the different color options, the different theme colors. And as you go through, you can choose what you want. All right, so let's go for something different this time. So let's go for a nice blue. Go for a nice blue on here. Okay, so we've got the blue, and also want to highlight the date box going down also in blue in this situation. I'm going to go down that far so far and then click the blue button. Now, what I also now want to do is start thinking about what's next. So if I go to sheet one, I might want my income to be next. All right, so I'm going to put in there, and you might put your name of yourself or your partner, but in this situation, I'm just going to put wage 1, wage 2, okay, other 1, other 2, and so on. You can make that bigger, and also just going back, if I clear that for a second, and if you've got more income in your household, instead of you type in, again, you can highlight them to click the button and go down. There we go. So you can have up to 6 or more. You can have it continuing. All right, so I'm just going to leave it as 3 wages. So in my household, I've got my son, my wife, and myself. There we go, 3 wages coming in. Or you might just want to leave it to yourself. Or in this case, I'm just going to go back to other 1, which could be in my other income. All right. So what I want to now do is, going back to my first sheet, I want to now put another block in along here. I could do exactly the same, highlight it, click that one, or I could also then copy that and highlight it, press the right mouse button and copy, then go down to there and I can paste. That's exactly the same. So whichever way I want to do it. Right, so what I wanted on this, I also wanted to know my total as well. I wanted to get an idea of what my total income is for every single month. So again, I've got that box there, which I'm now going to copy, and I'm going to bring down to here and paste it in here. And then all of this, I actually want a different color. I'm going to want that in yellow. We've got my first boxes. So I've got my wages, and next I'm going to think about what do I want, what else is coming into my house. So what's my first thing that goes out? It's probably my most important, which is my mortgage stroke rent. Okay, you start filling that in exactly what you want. So for example, just for quickness, I have my rent, my mortgage, my council tax, my electric and gas, and my water bill. Okay, I've typed them in there and they're all there. Okay, so next I'm going to head this off again with a bar. Okay, and then so on. So I carry on going down. Okay, so I continue to fill this out and then pop in exactly what I want. So I've got my main table created. There we go. So in this situation, so what have I got now? I've got my wages that's going to come in, and I'm going to give myself a total in this box. I've got all my outgoings, which I'm going to put me a total in this box. Okay, so this is everything I've got regularly coming out of my bank account. Okay, so we've got our basics on here. That's everything that's outgoing now. So I can now start typing in roughly what's coming in. So just say I had 4,000 there, we had 4,000 there, and we had £50 in the other one. Okay, my mortgage rent, just say that's 1,000. My council tax, just say that's 200. The gas, electric, just say that's 200. My water, say that's 50. And then thinking about what else I've got on here. These are my insurances. Life insurance 30, medical could be 10, pet insurance could be 10, car could be 40. So what I want to do now is see this box here. I want this to total up this. Now there's a couple of ways you can do it. Okay, so I want this to add up to this. Now the easiest way of doing it, just hold your left mouse button on here and drag up so you've highlighted all of this. All right, now you can type in a formula, but there's a nice little shortcut on here saying auto sum. All you need to do is click auto sum. Okay, and then that will highlight that box. Now I've just realized the font is the same color as this. I'm just going to make sure that is right. There you go. I've set it on auto. So it'll tally up. And it's that right. So 8050 is correct. Okay. So that's my incoming. And now I've got to think, what do I want? What's on my outgoing? So exactly the same. So hold your button, your left mouse button here, drag all the way up to here, which is the top of your mortgage and rent. So everything that's going out of your bank account, in theory, would have come down here. And we can now press auto sum. There we go. All right, so just realize that's looking a stupid amount because I wish I did have £8,000 in a month. So let's just put this to a raw, realistic number. Okay, that's more realistic. Okay, so what's going out and what's coming in? So that's simple. That's our first step. And next, what we want to do is just to tidy this up a bit. I might want to, like I had on this sheet here, I actually had some text that was going in a vertical direction. So what I will then do is I will highlight these first three boxes with my left mouse button and I will click on merge. And what that does, it merges all these three little cells here all into one. So it gives us one big blank box. All right. So that I might want to say, right, I'm going to have that as my, I'm just going to have that as wages, for example. Now it doesn't look great just being at the bottom. So I've got a choice now. I can either go up here and I can choose where I want it. I can have it at the top, I can have it in the middle, or I can have it at the bottom. Actually, in the middle looks great, doesn't it? Well, actually, do I want it that way? I might want to choose, if I click on this orientation button here, I can have text going up, and that's what I like. All right. Now, I might also want to change the font on this, so it doesn't all look the same. So I can then go in and change the font as I wish. All right. I can then choose it to be bold. I could choose it to be underlined. I could choose a different color again for this box. So I could have it a light blue. There we go. So I've got all that. So once I've done that, I can then do the same with the others. So I'll show you one more time. So you just highlight all the boxes. You click on the merge. It's all merged. All right. And now you can then type in what you want. So I'm just going to have that as home. All right. So it's all home related, what's coming out. Again with this, I'm going to put this in the middle. And I'm also going to put this one going up. All right. Now, I could faff around with this and keep on having to amend it like this. Now, what I could also do, now if I want this to be the same as this with the same font, the same color, I can then click on this one, press the right mouse button, press copy, click on here, all right, press the right mouse button, all right, and then go to this little symbol here, which is the formatting one. And what that does, it keeps my text the same. So if I clicked on that, it will just change it to identical. All right. But if I click on the little paintbrush, it keeps the formatting the same. So look, I've got the underline. I've got the same font as well. All right. The only thing it's done here is make the box the same size. But that's easy to fix. We just highlight that again. And we click the merge button twice. And that will merge it. All right. So that's up. So once we've done all the rest, okay, I changed my mind now. I don't like that font, so I'm just going to keep it to what it was before. Calibre. I'm going to have them all bold, and I'm going to have them all underlined. Okay. Again, because you highlight something, it means it's going to copy everything exactly the same what's highlighted. Okay. So let's just zoom out a bit. So now I've got my incoming, what's coming in, and I've got my outgoings. All right. So that's the first stage. Now on this one, I also added in what had coming out as food, what had also coming out of fuel, and what coming out as cash as well. Again, you can do that just by continuing to do exactly the same as I did there. You start doing it on this bit. And there you go. So as you can see, I've done the same there as well. So I've just got these columns adding into this and this and this. Okay, so just to remind you, if I just delete these out, all I then do is click the left mouse button onto here, highlight all of this by holding the left mouse button down, click auto sum, and it'll give me 250. Exactly the same with all these, and also all of these as well. And there we go. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to get a total of all of this. Okay, so if I put in here total out, all right, so what I want a total of what all my outgoings are for that month. So bearing in mind, actually everything is in yellow apart from the very top one, because all sorts coming in. In theory, I could highlight that. I could put that as a different color just to make it a little bit more clearer. Let's say I'm going to keep it as that. So that's what's coming in. All right, everything yellow is going out. So I'm going to type in here equals sum, okay, with a bracket. So you hold down the shift near the bracket. Now keep your finger on the shift button here. All right, and then I'm going to do is click on the first one, 50. I'm going to press a comma. Okay, so I can take my finger now off the shift button, put my finger back on the shift button. Okay, and press that one. Finger off, press a comma. Finger on, press that. Finger off, press that. Finger on the shift button, highlight that. Okay, and now I can press the close brackets, which is shift and then 0 on the top of the keyboard. And I'm going to press enter. Okay, so what that now is doing is adding this column, this column, this column, and this column up to here. All right, so again, this is a total out, so I'm going to have this in yellow again. Actually, now I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to orange because this gives me a total on this situation. But again, you can choose whichever color suits you, or just leave it blank. It's entirely up to you. So that's total. Everything is going out. Now, what I want to know is what have I got left? All right, so I'm going to put on here remaining. All right, so I want this figure and this figure to give me the final figure. So on here, I'm just going to put in equal sum again, do the bracket. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the top and just click this one. All right, then I'm going to use a minus, which is next to 0 at the top of the keyboard. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to click this one. Okay, so what that's telling me, and I'm going to use the bracket again just to close it, is that E8, which is this relating to this, E8, which is my income, minus my total outgoings, which is E61. And now I press enter, will tell me I've got 1,866 left. Okay, so that's the very basics. Now that's January done. Simple, all right? So what I want to do now is I just want to copy the rest and put them into the rest of the months. Now, your outgoings may be different every single month. So you might want to leave this and just fill it in as you go. All right. And if you want to do that, that's fine. Otherwise, you can literally just, again, you can literally copy from the top here. So press the left mouse button, highlight all of this. Okay. And then you can drag across. Do you see what I did there? I'll just do that again. Let me go back one. To highlight it, press a little box at the bottom and drag it all the way across. There we go. And it will copy it all across exactly the same. All right, it's really simple. Now, remember previously I said you could do that and it will carry on the numbers. Now, watch what would happen if I put 2 months in. and I'll put in 3,000. All right, and I've done the same then. It will then take it up in the £500 mark. All right, so start adding it. All right, because you're doing it from one column, it means it's going to duplicate the whole of that. So I'm just going to go back with a little undo at the top. All right, I do that again. And there we go. And what this now does, if I click on all of these, all the formulas, so it doesn't matter now. So just say 1 month I spend, I spend £500 on food. Very extravagant for me, but £500 straight away, it's going to change everything. So straight away down the bottom of remaining is now changed for that month. So I'm now down by £500 or £450 in this situation. All right, so I've got all my sums in for the year. Okay, and so that's one option. So I'm just going to go back a couple and just give you an option if you didn't want to now fill it in. If you want to leave it blank and fill it in month by month, all I want to do is I want to leave these blank, but I want to actually the sums here saves me having to do it every single month. I just want to be able to copy this and put them in there. So again, just highlight one box, copy it across, and there we go. And again, do the same down here, drag it, that will copy it. Click it, drag it. The other way you can do it is press the right mouse button, go to copy. Then you'd have to then click along here, press the right mouse button, go to paste. Again, another way you can do it, it's just longer. All right, so just by highlighting, getting that little box down the bottom, dragging it, it's far quicker. All right, okay, so these two are together here, so I can just highlight them both and drag across the bottom. All right, so I've got all my sums in place. Just to make this a little bit tidier, I'm now going to put another blue box in here. And there we go, I've got my blue box. All right, so I've got all my months set out. All right, so remember, this is my remaining, so this is what I've got left. So I'm going to put this in nice bright green because actually, yeah, I want what's remaining. So just took a nice green there. So this is what I've got left at the end of the month. And this could be, I want to go out for meals and so on. So at least I know how much I can budget, or I can go on holiday, or whatever I want to do with that money, or go and treat myself to a cup of coffee. All right. So of course I've exaggerated all the funds, all the amounts on here. So again, just put in whatever your outgoings are, whatever we've got, because of course we're all different, aren't we? Now, last thing I want to know what my budget is for the year. All right. So again, what I'm going to do, I also want to neaten this up. I'm going to, again, just with the arrows, I'm going to make this box a little bit smaller. I'm now going to put a nice blue box just to tidy it up all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and now what I want is I want to know what these totals are. All right. So if I want to know what total amount I've got coming for the whole year, again, all I need to do now is click on this one, hold the left mouse button, drag all the way to the left, and click the auto sum. There we go. So straight away it's going to give me that. Now I could do this for every single line if I want to. So how much I'm paying for gas, electric, and water, and so on for every year. Again, just going to highlight these, auto sum. There we go. So of course you can do all these other boxes. You can again do this in a number of ways. All right. So one, you could do every single line like I just did there. You could also take, for example, you could do one of them like that. You could then, again, because it's one digit, you can drag it. There you go. Do one, click it. Drag it down. Now you could drag it down a whole lot if you wanted to. There you go. I could drag it all the way down to the bottom. It just means I've got some zeros, which doesn't matter because then I can just go in and delete them zeros if you wanted to. All right, anywhere you don't need it to add up. And there we go. All right, so as you can see on the first spreadsheet, it looks a little bit different, but again, all very similar. And now if I want to make it a little bit better, so if I can highlight the whole of the numbers. There you go, so all of this is highlighted. And what I can now do is I can click the right mouse button and I can go down to format cells. And what this now does, I can now choose, actually I might want them in a currency. All right, so depending on your country, you can choose pounds, dollars, whatever you want on here. You've got them all on here. I'm just going to choose pounds as I'm in the UK. I might want a decimal points, or I might just want it to have no decimal points. It might not want to include pennies. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that and click save, and there we go. All goes into pounds nice and neatly. Now, just to give you a bit of a tip here, the remaining box, what I always like to do is highlight all that and put this in a slightly different color. So if I go now format cells, again, click on currency, but click on this minus figure with the red. Okay, because what happens is, so just say I decided to overspend in week 3, I blew 2 grand of cash, went on holiday, went to Las Vegas, went to casino, blew it all. There you go, straight away it's now highlighting I'm minus £124 for this month. All right, as you can see there, it's really simple. Have a play around with it, and there we go. So that is the very basics of Excel. So in this lesson, what we've talked today, we've talked about highlighting cells. We can move cells and make them larger and smaller. We can copy and paste text and numbers as well, and have a consecutive numbers, or we can just copy one and into multiple boxes. You can also add up cells and detract them as well to come up with your final figure. So today's lesson, if you can do this, you've mastered the very basics of Excel. And also, if you decided to do a finance sheet like I've done today, you've now got your finance organized as well. You know exactly what you're spending just by messing around with Excel. So you can go ahead, be creative as much as you like, and go and show your friends and family what a great work you've done and how advanced you now are on Excel. Okay, I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, because it does help my channel get larger and larger. Please, if you haven't done already, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. And it just means every time I produce a new video, you'll get notified with a little bell symbol as well, a little pop-up on your YouTube to say I've got a new video. And certainly put any comments down as well. If you'd like to see another video on something else you're not quite sure about, then pop it in the comments below. And like I said, this is Excel version 1, the very basics. And certainly in the future, I will be doing more videos and the more advanced we get on Excel. Okay, thanks very much, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.